Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my Wrestlemania 39 Night 1 review. Alright, so this is the first night. A lot of matches went different than the way I had thought they were going to go. When I made my prediction video, obviously it was my assumptions plus slash what was being listed as, what the possible night 1 and night 2 matches were going to be. Obviously by Monday it wasn't totally confirmed yet, so it is what it is. That's when I had to do it. So I had to only go with what I could go with by that point. So, nonetheless, it is a little different from what I envisioned, but, so, night 1, they started out with, okay, so they started out with doing the American song, all that stuff, typical intro stuff. Beautiful. But then they started to get into WrestleMania and all the little promotions and all the little advertisements they did. And then we finally get to the match. And the opening match, was John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. There was a whole Make-A-Wish Foundation promotion plug for them, which is completely understandable because John Cena is the Make-A-Wish guy in WWE. So they did that. They had a bunch of Make-A-Wish fans right with John Cena as he made his entrance. Austin Theory made his entrance first. So, yeah, so basically John Cena and Austin Theory, match starts. It was a basic match. I think they only had I think it was like a 12-minute match. It wasn't that long of a match. Pretty good opening match, I guess, for what it was. Basic match. Match ends with Cena, he had Austin Theory in the STFU, and Theory was tapping out, but the referee had been knocked out shortly before that, and then after he tapped out, Cena let go, thinking that he won, but in reality he did not because the referee was knocked out. And then Austin Theory, when Cena tries to go to confront the referee who's knocked out, Theory, gives him a low blow, and then he does his A-Town down finishing move, and that's the end of it. He remains United States champion. I am surprised that Cena didn't go over. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this should be no surprise. They're going to let the young guy win. Cena's just put people over. But this is, I think Cena's, 4th loss since coming back. Every time that he comes back, since he's been part-time, he's lost, 4 straight matches, I think. And I'm quite surprised that they're having him lose that many matches. I mean, yeah, I know he has to put some people over, but he also has to win some matches here and there, too, to keep his aura going. So I'm quite surprised that Cena lost here. So, yeah. I'm going to give this a 2-star match. It was okay for what it was. An okay opening match, I think, for what it was. Alright, so the next match was the men's showcase fatal 4-way tag team match. You had Braun Strowman and Ricochet taking on the Street Profits. Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders. Um, I mean, you guys know my opinion on this match. I just don't care for the throwaway matches that they just put in. Like, I get it. They want to give the talent, you know, chances to work on WrestleMania. But, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is now on SmackDown, I guess, that's been doing for the past couple of years, is for those Royal Battles. The showcase matches. All these matches, right? Like, they just do just to, put people on the card, but there's no story to them, and I'm just not really. It's like whatever, like who cares, there's no real benefit to this. Like add a stipulation, like it's just a tag match. It's just a tag match. There's no benefit to it. Like, why not say, hey, the winner of this match gets a tag team championship match for the SmackDown or the Raw champion? Same with the women's one. The winner of this match gets a women's tag team match. Like, why isn't any of these, like, matches, like, actually for something? Because they're just throwaway matches. There's no meaning behind them. They just have them just so people can work WrestleMania. But they don't have, like, any benefit gained to them. Why couldn't they, like, give them whoever wins this is the number one contender at the next pay-per-view or at the next, whenever, whether it be on a Raw or SmackDown. So that's my whole thing with these matches. And also Braun Strowman is being wasted on a tag team right now when he should be a single wrestler. I know he got punished, I guess, for what, he said during the plane ride with Saudi Arabia coming back, by calling people flippity floppers, but I think you gotta, like, kind of, get out of that now, because Braun Strowman should have worked with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He was way better of an athlete than Omos is, and oh Lord, how that match is gonna turn out tomorrow, or I'm sorry, today, for WrestleMania night 2, because that's gonna be on night 2, but still, nonetheless, all right. So this match, everyone pretty much, it was solid. It was a solid match. Everyone was trying to do what they could do. Everyone was getting their things in. Braun Strowman got his things in. And everyone really got all their chances to really shine in this. That match ended when Braun Strowman went for a second, the run around the ring thing. He did it again, and this time, one of the Street Profits, basically, overpowered him or whatever, and then they went into the ring, and, like, Ricochet gets caught, on the, gets hit with the turnbuckle, and then he's on the knee, on the leg, or no, I'm sorry. Ricochet went for he went for a splat off the turnbuckle, and then Dawkins put his knees up, and then after that, Ford basically, jumped off the turnbuckle, hit him, pinned him, 1, 2, 3, match over. Again, okay for what it was, but it really just didn't make any sense. There was no significant gain. There was no story for it. There was no, caveats to why they're wrestling in this tag match. Like, why aren't they getting a title shot for winning the showcase match? There's no stipulation for it. It's just, like, whatever type match. And I'm not a big fan of just whatever type matches. Like, I want there to be, like, a benefit to it, or if there's a story behind it. And there's no story behind this, and there was no benefit gained to this match, to who the winner is. So, that's my take on it. Street Profits win. It was a 2-star match again for what it was. It was a very good match, but again, no storyline behind it, no reason to why someone would want to win in this match. Does this benefit me getting the number one contenders spot? No, nothing. So that's my take on it. And then after that, I believe this match was next. Well, okay, so we should put this out here. There was an impromptu match that happened. Okay, so there was an impromptu match that happened, and it was the Miz came out as the host. He'd come out earlier with Snoop Dogg and did, some stuff as well, because he's the host of WrestleMania. But then he comes out later, and the Miz is talking about, the attendance record and all this other stuff. And the Miz basically comes out and he brags about opening challenge. He went on social media posting an open challenge. He'll even mention MySpace, which I'm sure got everyone interested. So he mentions a lot of people, and then we see Pat McAfee come out, and that was pretty cool. I was kind of hoping he would commentate after he was done wrestling, but that didn't happen. Maybe he commentates for night 2, because I really hope he does, because Pat McAfee is one of the best commentators they have right now. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But nonetheless, he confronts The Miz, and basically he's like, well, I want to have a match with you, and then, what was it called? Snoop Dogg basically interjected and said, well, because I am the Snoop father of WrestleMania, I can make the matches. Also, I just want to say this right now, because this is also another bullshit thing that they said, where Miz said he can't make any matches because he's the host. That's bullshit, because WrestleMania 27, the very match where he main evented in, right? The Rock was the host of WrestleMania, and he made the referee restart his match with Cena after it ended in a double countout, which led to the Miz winning thanks to The Rock helping him against Cena. So this was a flat-out lie by The Miz, but of course WWE just forgets things as they go along. But anyway, Snoop Dogg makes the match official, and so Miz and Pat McAfee are in a match. It was about a 6-minute match. There's just really nothing going on. It was just kind of Pat McAfee dominating most of it. Eventually, you had Kittle come out and basically attack the Miz after Miz pushed him. The tight end for the 49ers. Then after that, Pat McAfee Pat McAfee puts him in the ring, and then he finished him off 1-2-3. 1-star match. This was really nothing significant. It was about a 6-minute match, but it was just basically just Pat McAfee squashing the Miz and embarrassing him. Nothing special to write up about this match. Whatever. It was just to get Pat McAfee a match. I will say, Michael Cole said that Pat McAfee was undefeated at WrestleMania, and he would have been right had it not been for Vince McMahon forcing him to wrestle in another match at last year's WrestleMania against Vince McMahon, which McMahon won. So no, Pat McAfee is actually not undefeated at WrestleMania because he actually lost to Vince McMahon. Again, another dumb booking decision by WWE at the time. But nonetheless, Pat McAfee is 2-1 at WrestleMania, which is kind of interesting in itself. And again, Pat McAfee didn't join anybody on commentary after this, which kind of was unfortunate. Nonetheless, quite interesting nonetheless. Alright, so the next match Seth Freakin Rollins versus Logan Paul. And yeah, Logan Paul came out with some, like, he came out like on like one of those polar things, like, you know, to put them up in the air or whatever. He comes down. He has an energy drink, like, mascot with him. His sponsor or whatever was with him. Seth Rollins comes out, doing the, he has an orchestrator doing the, and basically the orchestrator is instructed to basically do it with the fans because they know the fans are going to do it. I'm sure the orchestrator was impressed by that because I'm sure he didn't know about it. They just hired him to do it. So Seth Rollins comes out to interesting an attire. He's wearing pink. He's wearing pink. Yeah, this was an okay match. You know, Seth Rollins really made this really good. Logan had his moments. Not going to deny that Logan is an athlete here, especially he shows off his athleticism. The storytelling works here. They actually used the energy drink mascot because it was end up being Logan Paul's friend or whatever. And when Logan was trying to hit Seth Rollins off the announce table or whatever, jump off the turnbuckle to the announce table, Seth Rollins pulled at the last moment the energy drink mascot, and instead Logan Paul hit him instead. One thing that pissed me off about this match is that Logan Paul did do the GTX. He didn't do the buckshot lariat, which is like his finishing move, which is, Adam Page's move, but he did do the GTX, and I was pissed when he did the GTX. Because, that was a direct shot at CM Punk. Clearly was. Come on now. Now, I will say, to be fair, the GTS isn't actually CM Punk's move, so it's pretty much fair game at this point. But at the same time, I felt like they did that intentionally to take shades at CM Punk, because Logan Paul has never done the GTX before. He mostly does the buckshot lariat, which I don't even think he did the buckshot lariat in this match, which was also really weird because that's supposed to be like his finishing move. Right? So, yeah, it was really weird. Also, Logan Paul kicked out of a pedigree, which is kind of really surprising. The end of the match happened when Seth countered a move Logan was doing, and then knocked him out, and then put him on the ground, and then he does the curve stomp, and 1, 2, 3, match over. 2.5 stars. It definitely was good for what it was. There were other things, other elements that I could have done without, but it was a solid match for what it was. All right. The next match. Okay, so the next match was Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita facing Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I'm sorry. Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Damage control. Okay. Trish Stratus, Lita, they came out. They came out with like some They came out to some like NWO like black and white type graphic or whatever. Um, and they came out to that, but Lita came out first, her outfit, and then Trish Stratus came out with an outfit that was very similar to what she had the last time WrestleMania went Hollywood, WrestleMania 21. This was even noted in the broadcast. And then Becky Lynch came out, and they did their grand entrances. They were actually the Damage Control came out. I think Damage Control came out first though. But nonetheless, the entrances were really good. Match itself was very solid for what it was. It definitely lived up to the hype. Everyone got in the stuff that they needed to get in. In the end, Becky Lynch. Obviously, Becky Lynch got the pin after doing her move on Bayley. Yeah, it was a very good match. I liked it. I like the spots Trish did. And it was a very fun match. This match, I'd give again 2.5 stars for what it represented. It was very good for what it was, and I liked it. I enjoyed this match. It was very entertaining. And I will like to see what Becky and Lita will be doing after WrestleMania, since they are still the tag team champions and they haven't defended the titles yet. I'm really wondering if these guys are going to stick around. Like, I don't know if this is just a one-off. I mean, it can't be one-off with Becky and Lita because they're the tag team champions, but unless they're losing the titles on Raw. But I am wondering if there's going to be more with them going forward. But very enjoyable match. It did what it did. You know, it was more of a moment. I would like to say it was more of a moment for them than anything else. So yeah, very happy. Next we have let me get this up. Where is it? All right. Next we have Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio. Yeah. The entrance for Dominik Mysterio was fucking amazing. So they did this whole thing, this like montage of him being like an inmate in a prison, and then he goes into the van, and then like he comes out like at the entrance with that prison truck or whatever, and he makes a really grand entrance. He has Mysterio's mask on, like, eventually takes it off. It's like just total disrespect and stuff like that. He is playing the story very well. The only thing I was thinking about this was like, man, I wish the Big Boss Man had been still alive for this. Because could you imagine that though? Like the Big Boss Man would have been perfect to have been like the prison guard, because that was like his whole character. I mean, he really used to actually be a prison guard before he started full-time wrestling, with WWE. But like that would have been perfect, man. Like the Big Boss Man, like freaking came out with them. Rest in peace, Big Boss Man. But that would have been great if the Boss Man had been still alive and done that. That would have been perfect. So yeah, Dominik Mysterio comes out in a really good entrance. You had the police guards, like I said, which would have been great for Big Boss Man, coming out with him, and they actually unhandcuffed him, so he can get ready to wrestle. Bad Bunny is on commentary for this, because this is the Latino match, basically. So, yeah, that's how they kind of did this. So then Rey Mysterio comes out with Eddie Guerrero's music, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, and he is on the lowrider. He's on Snoop Dogg's lowrider. I was kind of hoping that they were going to do the hydraulics like Eddie Guerrero, but they didn't. And then after they get out of the lowrider, Rey Mysterio's music starts playing, and he does his normal, firework gesture. He's wearing a Flash, Mysterio type uniform, which Rey Mysterio would make a much better Flash than the person that actually is going to be Flash from the movie. But nonetheless, very good. Just a great entrance by Mysterio. It kind of gets a little hurt because I guess this match was sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsored this match or whatever. And so as Mysterio is getting, is going on the stairs, we see the stupid, goofy Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal mascot, which I just thought was just so stupid. I'm so glad he's not shown on camera throughout this entire match. We already had enough of Logan Paul's, stupid mascot thing. That was just, oh my God, I just hated that. It had no business being there. But nonetheless, so Mysterio and Dominik, they start the match, and they had a phenomenal match. This was a really good match. Up to this point, this was the best match so far on the card. And they killed it. They just killed it. Dominik, in my opinion, after this match, he, made himself, he made himself now, and not be in his father's shadow anymore. He, I think, has a really good future. Because, last year we were like, oh, well, he's only there because he's Mysterio's, son or whatever. But now, this and his character work and the stuff he's doing in the Judgment Day, he's really turning himself into, someone who actually can be a serious character, and someone who can, stand on his own, So, yes. We also see a bunch of the Latino, the Latino World Order coming out, or the new Latino World Order coming out to help, because the Judgment Day was interfering. And so they were, assisting. A lot of high-flying actions. Dominik did the 619 and did the frog splash. Rey kicked out of it. There was a moment in the match where Dominik tried to cheat, right, with the chain, and then Bad Bunny took it away from him, who was on commentary again, and that led to Mysterio. The distraction led to Rey Mysterio putting him in the 619, the frog splash. 1, 2, 3, pins him 1, 2, 3, match over. Rey Mysterio wins. I was surprised that Rey Mysterio did get the win here because I thought he was going to put over his son. But most likely this feud will continue because Rey only won because, Dominik couldn't cheat to win, which is what he was trying to do. And so that might continue the storyline into Backlash. So very happy with this match. This was a 3-star match. Again, I thought this was the best match so far on WrestleMania Night 1, in my opinion. So, yeah. Very, very good match. He celebrates with the family. Also, I would note that, also I should say the heel stuff that Dominik did this match, especially the spot with the water. I know that was kind of a direct message to MJF when they did that, but they did it the right way because, they did it to an adult and it was actually planned. He did it to his mom, which obviously that was planned. But yeah, that was That was really good. Like I said, Dominik Mysterio is doing really good as a heel, and we'll see where that goes. But right now, he's doing really good. Uh, so the next match was for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. You had Charlotte Flair defending the title against Rhea Ripley, the Rumble winner. So this match had very good moments, but was very, very sloppy. It was a sloppy match, and they were stiff the entire match. They were wrestling stiff. Not on purpose, not because they hated each other or there was heat with each other, but they were doing it on purpose to each other because they wanted the match to be the best it could be. Like, literally, they were doing things with reckless abandon. They didn't give a shit that they injured themselves in this match because literally they could have injured each other. Like, I was worried that one of these two were going to injure each other because most of the spots that these two did, they were doing with reckless abandon. Like, both of them. And they weren't doing it because they were trying to hurt each other. They had heat with each other. They were doing it because they were pissed. You could see it in their facial expressions throughout this entire match. They were pissed that this match was not the main event. They were pissed. And I get it. I understand that they wanted to be the main event. You know, it advertises Royal Rumble winner gets a guaranteed main event match at WrestleMania. But you need to understand something. 15 out of the 36 WrestleManias that had the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble was created in 1988, and as a matter of fact, a whole stipulation being added that you get a guaranteed world title match at WrestleMania wasn't added until 93, a year after Flair won the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble match. 15 of 36 of the Royal Rumble winners since it started in 1988, only 15 of them main evented. 15 of 36. 15 of 36 guys main evented WrestleMania. That's counting even modern day right now. Okay. So this whole thing that the main event has to be the Rumble winner is not true. As a matter of fact, I would argue that 2 times where the Royal Rumble winner did main event WrestleMania, which being WrestleMania 18 and WrestleMania 25, the world title matches shouldn't have gone on last. And that was Chris Jericho, Triple H for the undisputed title, and Randy Orton and Triple H for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 25. Those matches main evented and were the last match. And guess what? The crowds were dead for those matches because Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had just had an all-time classic at WrestleMania right before Orton and Triple H went on. And then Hogan and Rock had a all-time classic dream match before Jericho and Triple H went on last. Because of this, I think the same thing could have happened with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley had they gone on last, because we'll get to the main event match after this to why it would have happened had they went on last. But you could tell in their eyes that this ate them up, and they were pissed about it, and I understand. You know, if I was in their positions, I would want a main event WrestleMania too, but again, this whole, WWE advertises it this way, so this is how it has to be. WWE has been making up the rules as they've been going along for years. Just because you win the Rumble doesn't actually mean you're guaranteed the main event of WrestleMania, because they've been doing this for years. They've been lying to you for years. So, nonetheless, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley still were pissed about it, and again, understandable. So if I was in their position, I'd be pissed off too if I got bumped. But they wanted to treat this as the main event, even though it wasn't the main event. They wanted to go out there and show WWE that they made a mistake, and boy, oh boy, they really, again, a lot of their moves were sloppy. I remember there was like a pinfall that Charlotte tried to go for on Rhea Ripley, and she didn't have fully control of the pin because it was not timed. The DDT that Charlotte Flair did on Rhea Ripley was very sloppy, and I thought could have injured Rhea Ripley. And then there was the reckless German suplex Rhea Ripley did on Charlotte Flair, where she fell face first, no protection, no nothing, and literally after the German suplex was done, we seen on camera Charlotte Flair's temple had like a big blood spot in the middle of her nose on her temple, on the temple of her middle nose, literally had a big red spot, blood spot. So these two were wrestling crazy in this. They were stiff, like I said. They weren't doing it on purpose, or I should say they were doing it on purpose, but they weren't doing it to injure one another. Or having heat with one another. They were doing it because they just wanted to have the best match ever. And unfortunately, because of that, they didn't. I don't think they had the best match ever because it came off sloppy and a lot of things were mistimed. But I will give them credit for it. I will give them credit because, they could have easily injured themselves in this match, the way they were wrestling. But nonetheless, the match ends when Rhea Ripley does the Road Dogg's finishing move, the arm back slam or whatever. I forget what they call that move. But she did that off the turnbuckle, and that's how she got the win. Again, there was a lot of false finishes in this. But again, that's when the finish happened. Rhea Ripley won. Fireworks went off. Good match. Good match, but again, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy match. I'm going to give this a 3 stars because there was a lot of good action going on. Very stiff, very risky. But I put it right up with Mysterio and Dominik. Good for what it was. Very, very, you could tell they were. You could tell. And then at the end of the match, I didn't like how Charlotte was smiling, after she just lost the title. I was not happy with that because, you just lost the title. Why are you smiling? And even the Kevin Dunn clips, of showing her, smiling, that was, someone really should have gotten to Charlotte Flair and said, stop smiling. You just lost the title. I didn't like that. Did not like that. Will be interesting to see what happens now because, Rhea Ripley's a SmackDown champion, so she has to be on SmackDown. So is this the end of Judgment Day? Unless, of course, Raw. The Judgment Day has to be moved to Raw, or has to be moved to SmackDown because Rhea Ripley's a SmackDown champion, and I know they're going to have a draft, to hopefully get back to the brand expansion again, and not just having everybody flipping to every different show. But yeah, nonetheless, Rhea Ripley wins, 3 stars. All right. So, the main event. The main event match. We have the undisputed tag team champions, the Usos, taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And again, this was a banger. This was phenomenal. So many false finishes in this match. So many storytellings. There was so much storytelling that was going into this. The way they structured this match. They put on an all-time classic tag team match here. There were so many times where I thought for sure the Usos were going to win. The way they were telling them, like, oh my God, they're gonna keep the Usos winning, here, or are they're gonna go with Kevin and Sammy here, and especially when Jay was talking to Sami Zayn and was like, you're done, this is it, so many false finishes. I was at the edge of my seat watching this match. The match ended. The match finally ended after KO stunnered Jimmy, and then you had Sami Zayn doing 3 Luga kicks, and then pins him 1, 2, 3. Just a lot of great action going on. Again, a lot of false finishes. I'm really surprised that Sikoa didn't come out. I thought he would have interfered in this match, but he didn't. But nonetheless, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win. The crowd goes nuts. Fireworks go off again. And again, this was a banger tag match. And a lot of storytelling, long-term storyline. This story was originally just something Vince McMahon threw together for Sami Zayn, just to put Sami somewhere. And to think that this, turned into what it turned into. Once Triple H took over, he really kind of took command of this whole storyline that was being told, and made it better than what it probably originally was going to be. Because I'm almost certain that Vince McMahon was just going to have Roman Reigns double cross him right away, and that would have been the end of Sami in this. But Triple H just kept him in the bloodline and kept reworking this whole storyline to make it better. And once he took over creative, and just a great story with a great climax ending at WrestleMania. And I think people can be proud of this match. I think it was a really good for what it was, and probably one of the better tag matches we've ever had in a long time, too, because I do think they had very good telling stories with the tag team as well. But nonetheless, I'm giving this 4 stars. I thought, again, this was the best match of the night. Storytelling-wise, it was definitely deserving to be the main event match for night 1, and honestly, it proved why it needed to be the main event. Again, I know Charlotte and Rhea Ripley are pissed, but this match needed to be the main event. It delivered, and it outperformed Rhea and Charlotte's match. And had they flipped it, I don't think people would have cared if Charlotte and Rhea would have been on. I think the crowd would have been dead. I think the crowd would have been dead if they had done Charlotte and Rhea as the main event. If they had done that match as the main event, because they went out and did this match before Rhea and Charlotte, the crowd would not have been in that match. The crowd would not have been into Rhea and Charlotte. It would have been like WrestleMania 18 and 25 all over again. Everyone was into this match. The crowd would have been dead after that. So yeah, very happy. Celebration happens as WrestleMania Night 1 goes off the air. 4-star match. And very, very happy with most of the results here. So yeah, that is my Night 1 card. I will be doing my review of the WrestleMania Night 2 after those matches happen. So yeah, guys, comment, rate. If you like this video and my videos, please subscribe. Hit that bell for all the latest contents. And that is about it. That is about it, guys. that is about it. Again, subscribe if you're not subscribed to me, guys. All that stuff. Discord link in the description. YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff. Instagram, all that stuff's in the description. Make sure you go to that. Follow, subscribe, bell for all the latest content. That's about it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace!